Hello everyone, welcome to the Takeaway Club, where I talk to interesting people across different walks of life to get to know their stories, and more importantly, the habits, routines, and other interests that shaped up their journey and got them to where they are, and some of which we can apply to our own lives and become the best version of ourselves. Hello, thanks for tuning in to the Takeaway Club. Today's episode is the second and final part of my conversation with Kaushik Kannan from Chargebee. Considering the long and engaging chat Kaushik and I had, we figured it would be best to listen it over two episodes so that you can pause and process the convo and get the best out of it. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to the previous episode, I would strongly recommend you give that one a listen before jumping to this, as we are picking off right from where we left that convo. Since we are discussing the subject of habits, let me ask you this. In one of your blog posts, you mentioned how you don't just hate the 21-day rule, you detest it. That's a really strong opinion on a theory that is widely accepted to be true. So, what is your idea, or more specifically, why do you hate the 21-day rule?
What is this 21 days? See, I understand that psychology says that if you're able to practice something for 21 days, it becomes a lifelong goal. Right. But I've seen a lot of people who say, okay, I quit smoking for 21 days, and they get back on the 22nd day, and they're like, I quit 21 days. No. So this means whenever I want to quit, I can quit. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. They've formed this thing in which, okay, if I can quit for 21 days, I know any point in life at time I can quit, which is stupid. What is the point of going through that 21-day exercise? Right.
When I came across your article on the 21-day rule, I was very curious. How did this number come to be? Is there any story to it? And I ran into a very interesting trivia. So it goes like this. In the 1950s, there was this plastic surgeon. His name was Maxwell Maltz. He basically had patients come to his clinic for different procedures, like nose job, artificial leg, and things like that. And what he observed in his patients was it approximately took 3 weeks for them to look in the mirror and get adjusted to their new facial features. So, since he noticed it in a lot of his patients, he compiled all of his findings and published it as a book. Now it's called Psycho-Cybernetics. I hope I'm getting the title right. So that book was a blockbuster hit. It sold over 30 million copies or something. And over time, when people discussed about habits, this was the first thing that they quoted. It takes a minimum of 21 days to form a new habit. But interestingly, there was another doctor, and it's actually much recently, Dr. Philippa Lally. She's a health scientist from London, and she published a paper on the European Journal of Social Psychology. And what they did was they wanted to understand how true this 21-day rules is. And they experimented with some 100 odd participants. I know it's a small number, but what they found was uh, they made each of these people pick up new habits, 100 participants, 100 different habits, to see how long it takes for them to make it their lifestyle. And how long it took? 66
Yeah,
days.
nice. So in this thing, I'd like to mention something which you just point out, Krishna, which is beautiful. In which you said you go look at the mirror, and it takes that person 21 days to adjust to who they are. And at the crux of it all, the core of it all, when you go look at the mirror, you have to accept yourself first. Most important. I am not the most perfect. I am not the greatest in any means, but I am very proud of the person I am. I am very happy with the person I am. I have a long way to go, and I will get there. I will definitely get there. I'm going to work towards it every single day. But I'm very, very happy with the person I am, and you need to accept that. Remember that conversation we were having on goals, in which it can be iterative, it can be different. See, I might have wanted to. Let's just take a very simple example. Let's say I wanted to become a doctor. I did not clear my entrance exam for doctor. I can either feel miserable about it, or I can say, hey, I did not want to do this. Clearly, this is not for me. What else am I good at? See, my younger brother is a living example of this. So he just graduated from BBA Shipping and Logistics. We were like, that's a really good stream for him to be in and everything. He finished college. After going through a 3 or 10 year, he understood and realized that he does not want to do this. He wants to become a graphic designer. He wants to become like an animator, like game animation, character design, modeling, and all. And that is such a good thing to do. Like, he loves doing it. He will definitely shine. He's gonna be, as long as you love doing what you do, it's okay to iterate. See, there's this other really good friend of mine called Raksha. She studied law. She was practicing law for a few years as well. But after she realized she loved writing more, she quit her job. She started writing. Her writing was so good that she started getting more and more bookings, and she has her own content agency now. And that's beautiful, man. That's like real life living growth. So Raksha owns experiencing, and they have like really good content coming out of that place. So people are doing some amazing things. So just go look at the mirror. You did not become what you thought, but do you want to become what you want to? It's completely alright if you don't become what someone else is asking you to become.
Actually, that's very well put. Take your brother's example.
Mm-hmm.
He did a BBA in shipping and
yeah.
logistics, and now he is into animation.
Yep.
But for a lot of people, it's very hard for them to wrap their heads
Mm-hmm.
around the fact that he's not doing something that he studied for.
Right.
But the thing is, unless he had gone through that process of doing something that he didn't enjoy, he couldn't have probably figured out that animation is what he wanted to do in the first place.
Exactly.
So it's this classic sunk cost fallacy, right?
Uh-huh.
Just because you invested so much time into something,
Right.
it doesn't make sense to invest more and more time into it.
Right,
And
right.
I did my majors in BCom,
Uh-huh.
and naturally my parents wanted me to become an accountant, or they wanted me to study CA or company law or something.
Right.
But I'm like, that's not really who I am. And my
Uh-huh.
journey, 3 years studying BCom,
Uh-huh.
commerce,
Uh-huh.
it helped me figure that writing is what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I'm not sure I couldn't have gotten to the place that where I am today if I hadn't done something that in hindsight is irrelevant to what I am doing currently.
Right. Very true. So unless and until you do that, you will not know what you really want to do. Right. Only if you do something, and if you don't like it, can you know you don't like it? Right. And this is one more thing to a lot of people who haven't even started. So the other day there was a person called Deepa who told me that, Kaushik, I haven't even started building my profile on any platform. What do I do? Which platform do I go with? And that's the best, because she can experiment with every platform. Right. So I know. So see, I've had these very early callings saying I'm really passionate about sales and marketing. My end goal is to become a public speaker. And I'm really grateful for that fact. And that is only because of the people around me. Like, I kept talking to people like you, Krishna. I've probably spoken to most of the people who are going to be listening to this. And even now, I'm not really talking to your listeners. Sorry, I'm not really just telling to your listeners. I feel like I'm talking to your listeners as well. Because everything they say is also adding to the bigger picture. And the more and more I kept listening to people, always take feedback. It's very important which ones you take and implement in your life, because people are always there to give you free advice. Don't listen to everything. But you should know which ones you should take. And honestly, there are people who really care about what you do and want to help you. And these people always keep your ears peeled to the ground for them. If you don't know what you love doing, experiment. It doesn't matter. Like you can even get a job which you don't like if you have to pay your bills and like if you have to like just sustain and get by. What are you doing over your weekends? Like, see, you can be really tired because you're working on the weekdays. Sleep early on your weekdays. See, your evenings are always there. If you're working in your night shift, the time you wake up is there. Regardless, your weekends are always there. Regardless of your work timings. See, if your job is asking you to work on your weekends, quit that job. Find another job is just paying you. If you're doing that without passion in the first place. So experiment and do as many things as you like, as you can. And you will know that you feel most alive doing one thing. I feel most alive when I'm with my people, when I'm on stage talking to them. I know that that is what makes me feel most alive. What makes you feel most alive? Find that. And when you do that, there are so many colors which are added to life. Like life becomes so much more colorful and beautiful. And I really want you and your listeners to experience this, Krishna. Like I want them to look at all these colors which I'm looking at in life. And that you can only do when you do what you really love doing. So
Reminds me of what Steve Jobs
uh-huh,
said
uh-huh.
about doing things that you love.
Right,
Like, you
right.
don't have time to live someone else's life. You gotta
Right.
find your calling, right?
Exactly.
So it's actually you put it in a very lovely manner.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've been incredibly lucky. I mean, I don't want to take away anything from the
True,
efforts you
true, true.
put
I will
there.
not deny that. I have been very lucky with the people that are in my life, with the way how things are going. I am not even kidding. I'm very lucky that way. Of course, there's hard work, and with just all this doesn't mean you can just throw it away, take it for granted. But yeah, see, there is. So see, one thing, Krishna, when you start doing things, things automatically fall in place. This luck which you spoke about, that happened because I was doing these things. When you're doing all these things, so this is something which I strongly believe in, Krishna. What I spoke about during the talk in Paper Flight the other day as well with UBC. When you keep talking about what you believe in, see, you can be like, I have no support, no one is there to help me. But this should be one thing which is your core, which you really believe in. And when you keep talking about that over and over again, it's like the universe conspires to bring the relevant people to make you succeed in that. So, when I talk about sales and marketing and consistently, see, my first 1 month, even if you look at my LinkedIn profile today, go back a year, there will not be any engagement in those posts. And that is nothing wrong. It's see, and even now, the number of likes or comments I get are no way I'm going to be measuring my reach or anything or my the value I'm trying to add to the community as a whole. But that simply means it's reaching more people, which is a good thing. And just because I didn't get engagement, I didn't stop. You have to be consistent at it. So like no matter what, see, it's not that easy as you said as well. Like it is a time consuming job. Even if it's like a post, I put a lot of effort into my post. Even if it's just like one post, I easily take more than half an hour, sometimes even an hour, like trying to make sure it's good. I'm not a perfectionist. That is very bad. Do not be a perfectionist. Because if you're like, I'll start when it's perfect, you will never start. I'm really, really, really glad you're starting this for your listeners, Krishna, because this is going to be helping a lot of people, and I really hope I'm able to add some value to your speaker, to your listeners. But if you thought about it saying, no, I'll get like a soundproof room, I'll get like a industry class mic and then start, I kid you not, you would not have started. So you just have to start. And when you keep starting, keep talking about the same thing. So I believe that we send out vibrations. So I'm talking about sales and marketing. I'm talking about public speaking. And my biggest core, I'm talking about people coming together and forming something beautiful. And when I keep talking about communities, I've attracted so many people into my life who also believe in communities. There are so many people like, so by the tens and twenties in which people just kept coming. They're like, oh hey, even I love the power. I really believe in power of people. I really believe in working together with like-minded people, and that the universe automatically conspires to make you win. So keep talking about this, and when your thoughts and your processes are in a particular vibration, and when you're resonating at this frequency, people in that frequency will automatically be drawn to you. You become a magnet which automatically starts pulling people in that wavelength as well. So you start forming these synergies and reverberations, and you become like this really, really, really powerful coexistence as a whole. That is the biggest power of humankind, right? We are all social animals. We work together, and that is how we build communities. And yeah.
So actually, that's beautifully put, Kaushik. One aspect that I loved in particular was how you mentioned your LinkedIn posts. They didn't have a lot of engagement even a year or so back. And since then, you have come quite a long way. And I'm really happy about it. But what are some of the mistakes or learnings, some aspects that you were, if you were given a chance to, go back in time, that you would course correct?
So learn to say no. That is very important. And apart from that, one more thing which is very important, as I told you, don't try to do everything on your own. You will burn out. You need people you can rely on and work together as a team. So I think these are two things which are very important.
That's really good advice, Kaushik.
Uh-huh. Hey, see, I don't see any of this as advice. I am not giving any of you guys advice. I'm just sharing what worked for me, and I would really love it if that worked for you as well. Let Krishna know, send it out to the takeaway club, let him know if it helped you. So, yeah, yes. And I'd love to hear you guys if it did work for you. Like that, nothing else would make me happier. Yes.
As we near the end of the episode, I want to ask this to you. If you could have dinner with someone of your choice, anyone you would like, who would you want to have dinner with?
But I think it would be my granny and grandpa. So I've never met them. And so my mom's grandma is still with me. And see, the thing is, like, they do anything for you. And I really want to, like, talk to them, see what. And I mean, we've come across like a big generation shift. There's been a big dimension shift and everything. And, like, I just want to talk to them, like, make them feel good about it as well. Because for some reason, all the old folks want to do is to see you smile and be happy. I want to give them that. I mean, see, I can tell you Nelson Mandela, I can tell you Gandhi. There's a really cool note by Gandhi which I love, which I'd love to mention before we go to the next one. I mean, I hope we're not too long here. So, there's a really cool story which I read in which there was a mom and a kid. She took her kid to Gandhi, and she was like, ask him to quit sugar because I mean on the road to sugar again because it's bad for him. And Gandhi was like, come back after a week, I'll tell him. Oh, you've heard the story? Right. And after a week, he looked at the kid in the eye and he was like, stop, quit sugar. And then when the mother asked Gandhi why he did that, he was like, because I used to have sugar. I needed to stop it before I could tell your son to stop. So, like, these are people who are very, very inspirational. All the greats, all our leaders. But I really think I just talk to my grandparents.
That's really beautiful, Kaushik. It's kind of like, no matter where you go, there are certain things that you keep on coming back to.
True. Always.
So I want to conclude our episode with one of my favorite questions. Yeah? So if you were given a billboard and the billboard could contain any message that you would want to share it with the world, and the billboard would be displayed in every town across the world, okay, what would the message be? What would you write on the billboard for the world to know? It could be any of your thought, your favorite quote, anything.
Smile.
Yeah.
Why not? So this is gonna be all over the world, all the bills. Yeah, just one word. Why not? See, we have these things called mirror neurons, in which Now, when I told you smile, I saw your smile, Krishna. So, and I'm pretty sure each and every one of you listening to this are smiling right now. And you just realized that, didn't you? That you were smiling as well. It's it's the truth. Like when you smile, people automatically so it's called reciprocity, and these mirror neurons, they replicate what they see. So when you see someone smile, you smile. That is why when you look at a movie and there's a sad scene, you're all sad and gloomy. So when you read smile, smile, smile everywhere, you're automatically going to be smiling. Your day is automatically going to be cheerful and brightful, and you are set.
That's lovely. Okay. That I'm so glad I began the takeaway club with you, Kaushik.
Oh,
It's
such a honor and pride as well, Krishna.
it has come out much better than I would have hoped for. Yeah.
Okay.
So for people who want to reach out to you after the podcast, where can they find you on the internet?
Right. So Krishna, this has been really beautiful. I had so much fun talking to you and your listeners. As I said, I am really glad I'm helping you kickstart this, because as I said, you have to start, and I am beyond delighted to see you start. This is gonna be incredible journey. And I promise this is really gonna be beautiful, man. So yes, hey you guys, y'all can always find me at kaushikkannan.com. I mean, I'll make sure I move the traffic from there to everywhere else, which Krishna said. So I'm guessing the easiest way to find me is at kaushikkannan.com. And apart from that, to reach out to me, I'm always super active on LinkedIn, in which you guys can just search for Kaushik Kannan, and I should be there. So yes. Alright, Krishna, this has been super fun. Thank you so much for listening, you guys.
Thank you, Vinod. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. So, with this episode, it wraps up my two-part conversation with Kaushik, and I really hope you had something to take away. And in case if you missed the first part, you can always find it on the Takeaway Club. It's www.thetakeaway.club. And as always, feel free to reach out to me at LinkedIn. It's Krishna Srinivas V. I'll see you very soon in another episode of the Takeaway Club.